So let's try this one again. She's fine, she's fine. Basically, taking great care with the guitar. And I hope the audio is coming through. It's late, so watch. Flic2s are configured, so let me give you a good intro again. Close this up. Watch the stomp. Holding these buttons down, you can see them back and forth. What have I done? Oh, yeah. Okay, so with Bluetooth Midi, you have to pair your items. So I have to go into Tools, go into Bluetooth Midi, select M1, and off you go. If you dump your lovely stomp on the floor because you're messing around with the neck of your guitar, the power goes out, you need to repair them. Yet again, observe. So, what I've done here is a very simple pairing. One click, next preset, previous preset, or next preset, previous preset. Going up, going down. Double click changes the view on the stomp. So you can see what's going on. You can put it in snap mode if you want to visually do it. Double click on the bottom one, changes snap 1 to 2 to 3, etc. And pressing and holding changes songs in OnSong. So, proper first impressions. Put the guitar down so I don't do any more damage. These flicky things, super cool. I completely blanked on this when they first came out. I looked at them because they were a home automation thing. I didn't think minimally, well, what could you do with this? And then Jason Kitchlin of the OnSong family said, yeah, these have been out for about 2 years now, and I'm kind of kicking myself thinking, how did I miss this? So go and check it out, Flic2.io. They do a lot of stuff. If you're an iOS kind of person, these are for you. But they also work with Android. And the big news is that they're coming out with this beta stuff, which I'm going to work on, which kind of opens them up a bit more. And you should, in theory, be able to send multiple MIDI messages, just like I did just now. But instead of going through an app or their app, it will go direct. To get it to go direct, you still need a master unit somewhere. Typically, the computer is that, be it your Mac or PC or iPad or whatever. And it's typically a lot easier to do all the arranging of this stuff using iOS gear, as there's a ton of apps for it and it's really robust and solid. Me personally, I do not have a love affair with Apple anymore. I did for a long time, but you know, it is what it is. So I wouldn't push people to go that direction that much, but if you want to save your hair, you may want to consider it. But this is very specifically done for my boy Luca, who doesn't want to go down that road at all and has all Android stuff, and I have Android stuff, I dig it. So we're going to see. So, Witty Masters have a dingus in here, which turns this into a master Bluetooth device, kind of like a computer. So tiny little computer in here that will allow one Flic at the moment to talk with this. One Flic is not enough. So what we have to do is wait for the eventual app for this thing and the multi-point to point action, which the guys over at CME are working on hard. And I've seen some original screenshots of it and it's looking cool. So this is still a theoretical thing, but the odds are looking extremely favorable currently. So if you want to go out tomorrow and do all this stuff, go to Flic, grab Flics, hook up to your iPhone or iPad, and it works. More importantly, for me, is the design aspect of this whole thing. Immediately, I'm noticing that there are things that 2 buttons can and can't do. One, you should be assigning stuff that you are going to use least often to the holds or the double taps, and stuff that you're going to use more often that will be less catastrophic, like snapshot advances, as a single click. Maybe you want to think about this stuff. What it does give you is the ability to take a regular guitar, not a Variax. You can run this wirelessly and go around the house. Now, first thing I did when I got these in was go all over the house with them. It doesn't work in the bedroom because that's around walls that are 60 centimeters thick, and it's a weird house. If things work in my house, they'll work anywhere. Guaranteed. 12th century Italian stone walls. Damn. Nothing passes. So with these 2 flickies, I can go downstairs on the couch. I can go outside the front door. If it's just passing through one set of terracotta and wood, no problem. Very responsive. So I tried casting this to my Apple TV. Works great. So literally, I can leave all this gear up here, or the big Helix, or the other stuff, go downstairs with a pair of Waza Airs on, and this, and not have to look at toys whatsoever. Could just navigate back and forth. It's strong enough that I could even take an iPad downstairs or outside, navigate through, and the radio signals will work. And that's a hell of a lot of bandwidth going through the 2.4 gigahertz signal, but it works. Happy stuff. So, would I recommend them? Yes. Will I be getting more of them? Absolutely, yes. And here's my thoughts on that. These are expensive little bits of kit. 35, I think, in the US is what they go for. Maybe 25 if you buy in bulk. Like, they sell them in 4, 6 packs or 3 packs. So I was hesitant at first, but I'm thinking, for a band, this makes total sense. You cannot get a wireless configurable, software configurable MIDI controller for less than that. So, pretty exciting stuff. A lot of testing to be done though. So far, those do not interfere with pickups, and these are fairly sensitive ones. I have some higher gain ones that I will be trying, so I have 6, 7 guitars. I will be trying them on all of them. Also, multiple of these units that's transmitting a lot of airwaves around sensitive electronics, and seems good for now. First impressions. There will be more to come. on that. Very excited with this because literally 2 buttons with tap, double tap, and hold is more than enough to run a stomp in my consideration for the basics. You can always take a Bluetooth Midi foot controller with you, but there are times where on stage where my boy Jamie would be running around and doing stuff and would want to, I don't know, maybe hit a boost or do something. So think about this. Every single parameter that you have that's MIDI controllable in the Helix, and that's everything, could be assigned to buttons like this. So if you're out there in the middle of the stage and you really want to whack a boost and you don't have your pedal board is 15-20 feet behind you, whack, hit the button, whack, and off you go. You can do it. Now, that should work for anybody, Android, iOS, anyone. The big deal is OnSong here will let you do serious customization and automation and stuff like that. Literally, I could go and set these up to just do backwards and forwards of a song, play and stop, and I don't know, a couple of boosts, and that's everything you could possibly need to run through an automated show. Start a song and all of your snapshots are lined up in sync in time by that. Hyper powerful stuff. The new software bits that they've come out with, the gears that you can change, you can actually change what these do on the fly, or you can do these multi-message things where repeatedly hitting one button will send different MIDI responses to do different things, and to kind of get your head into a bit of a twist when you're thinking, whoa, what could I do? Or on the big Helix, you could replicate 1 or 2 buttons and have backup. So you could navigate your way through a tree of MIDI back and forth. And if these were to fail, then the Helix is right there and you just kind of stand by your Helix and go and do your thing. Pretty amazing stuff. The possibilities seem endless to me, and there's a lot of testing to be done to ensure that that all stands up and works well. But pretty impressed so far, I have to say. So yeah, if you're an iOS freak and you have OnSong, get them. Absolutely. Very cool stuff. Very, 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 very cool stuff. Do they go really well with other guitars? Would they sit on a carved, not the stomp, would they sit on a carved top very well? I don't know. If you have a, pick guard, solid, nice surface. If you have a flat guitar, solid, nice surface. On a Variax, could definitely work. If you wanted to go wireless with the Variax and still have some measure of control, this is a cheap and easy way to do it without having to do any kind of hackery. So, consider that, you Variax boys out there. I know on my 69 I would do it. On my 59, maybe not. I don't know. They come in black, or you can wrap them, you can do things with them. So thoughts are merited with this stuff. Big thanks to Oscar who sent me these for testing. I hope that tomorrow we can get in touch and I can get into the beta software and start mucking around with these things. For now, it's still beta. It's still iOS. They're going to replicate this into Android. So, Luca, put a couple of pennies aside. I think you've found your dream solution, that which you've always wanted. These will do it. For sure. Powerful, powerful stuff. What else? So yeah, maybe you can get away without using OnSong. I know a lot of people using Band Helper, which is multi-platform, which is cool, which I haven't touched. So no opinions on that one yet, but if it's essentially the same idea, the idea for us in the Mini Mad Scientist group is to take the really good ideas and to port them into things that work for you. Because, I mean, Apple does do some really stupid stuff sometimes, and I think the latest upgrade to 13.5.1 messed with Bluetooth somewhat, and some people are having a lot of trouble with that. Um, I haven't yet, but it's worrying. So carry on, my good folks. Have a look at these things. I'm suitably impressed. I think I would also like to be able to hide them a bit more. I may have to do some surgery on this and change this bracket to a slightly higher one so I could fit these under there. I don't know if that would work or not, but ideas abound. On the acoustic, on the top bit here, they sit just fine. In fact, anywhere on that bit of the guitar, it would fit fine. Would it look right? I don't know. On a Gretsch, pretty damn cool. Might even paint them orange or something like that. Or do something artistic-y with them. But just, I mean, look at that. It is very cool. So the other thing I'm thinking about with this is Lewis did this ages ago. You can actually record MIDI commands. So what this will not do for now, in this guise, it will not do expression pedal movements where you have a continuous controller. That's something I think that needs to happen, but you can record. So say you do an awesome performance of something and you've got your wah going with you and it's really rocking. If you're recording that in MIDI, all of those little changes of the continuous control channel get mapped over time, like a video, but for MIDI. So imagine if you're a Jamie who's running around with big hair and all that kind of stuff, tights and 80s big hair rock stuff, where your physical presentation on the stage is the key thing. If you were to record a fabulous, expression thing or bloom or blossom or whatever, it wouldn't have to be tied to an expression pedal on the stage. Could actually go and sit anywhere. So if you had some massive funky stage with rotating stuff and you're running around and doing stuff and you really want to hit the key part of that song and you're mobile, you could hit play going into that, put it in overdrive and then hit play on the expression pedal-y type thing and get a fabulous for as long as you want and repeat that. So kind of like you do with a one-shot looper where you're playing a sample. You could one-shot loop MIDI expression stuff and get your signature crazy expression pedal thing at your fingertips. So, strike a chord. For the Variax people out there, you can already do that with a Variax. In fact, you've got your volume and tone knobs already act as expression pedals, so you can do all that, but you're tied to a VDI cable, which means you're tied to the Helix, which means, within so many feet of your gear, you can still do incredible stuff. You can do much more stuff than you can do with this. But it ain't wireless. So one of these days, wireless VDI would be cool. A new Variax would be cool. But until then, any guitar can become a MIDI guitar, and could be very exciting. Could be very, very, very exciting. So think about it, Luca. Put your pennies aside, mate. These things are cool. There will be more. When I go and get a hub for these things, and we'll test it out as a band type thing, where up to 6 or 8, or I think up to 20 of these things can be multiplexed together through a controller, which also does stuff. I mean, put it this way. I used to do a ton of automation with home electronic stuff and universal remotes that would merge 6 or 8 remote controls into one. This is that for guitars. So, you know, if you have a good home automation system, or if you have a stereo system, or if you want to just, I don't know, get in and set up simple. If you lose your phone, you can just have one of these things on the wall, hit the button, and it goes and finds your phone for you without you having to call your wife and say, "Can you call me? I've lost my phone. It's somewhere in the couch," and it happens all the time. So, pretty damned impressive technology. It's got to be said. That's the first impression. We will see what comes next.